this meeting of the Cleveland Heights University Heights City School District Board of Education to order. Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Coble? Here. Ms. Peppler?
Here.
Mr. Register? Here. Mr. Silverman?
Here.
Mr. Zucker? Here.
First order of business is I need a motion to approve the minutes of the special board meeting of December 4th, the special board meeting of December 9th, the regular board meeting of December 16th, and the organizational and regular board meetings of the 6th.
So moved.
Second.
Any corrections, additions? Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Coble?
Yes.
Ms. Peppler?
Yes.
Mr. Register?
Yes.
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Okay, now for the fun part. The awards and recognitions. Superintendent Dixon is going to. I'm coming with you.
So, good evening, everyone. So we will begin our recognitions tonight by highlighting several of our district's talented and creative student writers and artists. The City of Cleveland Heights hosted their 17th annual celebration of the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on January 14th. This event featured Cleveland Heights student winners from the city's MLK art, essay, and poetry contests. This year's topic came from a quote by Dr. King: "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" Each entry was thoughtful and wise. I'd like to first invite Lily Johnson and Justin Red, both fourth graders at Garrity, to present an excerpt from their winning poem. So girls, would you please come to the front and read for us? Let's give them a hand as they come forward.
Martin Luther King started walking. We need to continue walking. We shall overcome, then a charge is gonna come. What we are going to do for others is write beautiful stories and poems, filling people's hearts up with joy, almost like freedom. How is part of our country is free? It's because of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, a promise that black and white people would be happy. We cannot walk alone. We cannot turn back, white or black.
Wow. Thank you. There's no doubt in my mind that Dr. King would be so proud of the way you beautifully communicated his message of helping others. So now I'll read the names of those students who were selected as winners of the contest. So for the students that are present tonight, and I think we have about 6 students that are here, as I call your name, please come to the front in the center of the room and remain standing to take a group photo with our board president, Nancy Peppler, and me. So our elementary and middle school winners are Tony Trent. Is Tony here? See her. Okay. Anaya Hill. Michael Holmes. I know William Harris is here. If you come up, William. And Rebecca Bartulovic. Is Rebecca here? Okay, so we will have William and the 2 ladies. If you will come up, please, Justin and Lily. Okay, yes, I'm coming. Okay, our high school winners are Stephen Lang. Is Stephen here? No. Evan Scoop. Andy Kilbride. Aid Arma Sakina. Liliana Cruz. Okay. Naya Williams. Skylar Houston. Elijah Payne. Maria Turney. I know we have Savitney Ikarin. Come on up. I see her. And Raynon Coons. Nicholas Munford, Morgan Weinstock. Okay, our poster winners are Helen Grace, Cassidy McKinney. Again, we have Lily Johnson and Justin Red, Anne Marie Hightower, Taylor Blackston, Thomas Williams, and I know Jerry Cisse is here. Jerry, come on up. Okay, and Thomas Williams. Thank you. Let's give them a hand. We'll take pictures of them. Okay, and a special poster award went to D. Prima's first and second period class. The winners in our district represented Garrity Professional Development School, Canterbury Elementary, Boulevard Elementary, Monticello Middle School, and Cleveland Heights High School. So let's all give them a round of applause. Okay, thank you, students. Now we have the RESA educators. So I would like to honor our fourth-year resident educators on a remarkable accomplishment. All 14 of our resident educators passed each of the 5 tests of the Resident Educator Summative Assessment for the district passage rate of 100%. The RESA is a rigorous performance assessment that asks resident educators to showcase their teaching progress and demonstrate its impact on student achievement. Not only did all of our residents register as RESA candidates compared to only 50% statewide, but they all passed compared to only 67% statewide. So that, let's give them a round of applause. They all passed. Congratulations to these teachers for their accomplishments. As I call your name, please come to the front in the center of the room and accept your certificate and take a photo with myself and President Peppler. Okay. Okay, Patrick Carpenter, come on up. Nicole Clouser. Okay. Karen Felitek. Karen. Emily Kyrus. Josh Luton. Marquita Warren. Terrell. Tracy. Here. Okay. James Davis. Okay. That's it? Okay. Takesha Jackson. Tracy Aden. Ben Amon. Max Kravitz. And Keith Vance. Any of them here? That's it? Okay, let's give them a round of applause, please. So again, this is a significant achievement and a reflection on the incredible abilities and dedication of all educators at Heights Schools. Congratulations again to all of you. All right, and this will conclude our recognitions for this evening. Thank you all.
Okay, next order of business. Thanks for coming, everyone. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, we don't have requested audience, but we have 2 people who have signed up to make statements from the audience. So, Ari, I know you know the drill. Come forward. You have 5 minutes. This is Ari Klein, and he is speaking on the topic of Heights Coalition for Public Education.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Dixon, and Treasurer Gaynor. Last week, as many of you know, since at least 4 of you were in attendance, the Heights Coalition for Public Education held its second forum in a series of 3. The topic was the myth of the failing teacher, and over 120 community members and teachers attended this forum. One of the activities in the forum was for people to fill out a postcard, and it was to be sent to you. So I have them, and now you get the chance to read them all, I'm sure. The topic was, this is what I think a high-quality education looks like. And I'll give them to President Peppler, but I also will send them in an email scan to all of you so that you don't have to share them all, because I know you're going to be dying to read them all. But it was fascinating to me that, as we could expect, very few people thought that high-quality education looked like teachers giving a lot of tests. That's really the summary of the evening. I think that was the big deal. So our teachers did a fine job of explaining the challenges of what's going on in the classroom today and how it's different from what it was just a few years ago. And I know that you who were there, who were able to come, probably understood what was going on. In addition, the first forum, The Myth of the Failing Teacher, was held when you guys were at a retreat of some sort. So I have another gift for you, and it's the DVD of that, the important part of that series. And that was, we had a guest speaker for that time. It was Rob Weil, who was gracious enough to come from the AFT, American Federation of Teachers, to give us a kind of research behind what's going on. So I thought that because you were not able to be there, that if you had an opportunity to look at the video or part of it, that it might be helpful for you to know what the coalition is working on and what's going on, the premise of what's happening. Additionally, I'd like to invite you, more of you, to consider endorsing the position of the Heights Coalition of Public Education. It's on chuh.net/coalition. The statement is out there. If you agree with it, sign it along with 330 other people, and to endorse that position if you feel like you can. People in the community, I hope, will continue to endorse it. And lastly, I'd like to invite you to the March 24th forum in our series called The Myth of the Failing Student. And that'll be the third series, although it hasn't been planned yet, but we have a meeting tomorrow, so know that the Heights Coalition is, these forums are co-sponsored by several groups. PTA Council, Cleveland Heights Teachers Union, Reaching Heights, and Future Heights are all co-sponsors of the events. And they've been really interesting and energizing, so good.
Thank you.
Sure. You can give those to Nancy, and then there's 5. I didn't make one.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Charles Drake. I'm sorry, and Mr. Drake is planning to address the Citizen Finance Committee and levy.
Thank you, Madam President, board members. I was at the special meeting you held at Delisle and wasn't allowed to speak, but you allowed Mr. Gaynor and Jane Geneva to present a report. And in their report, there were a couple of erroneous facts stated. One was that the students in this district that attend charter schools are hurting this district because you are losing that money from the state funding. That is not a true statement. It is deducted from the gross number that the State Board of Education gives you, but it is not money that you would get because you're not educating those students. And those students, if they were in this district, would cost you more money because you'd have to provide the additional staff. There was also a discussion as to why people aren't coming into this district. Part of it is the poor rating this district got from the Department of Education, the high real estate taxes, and the proposed or discussion that the City of Cleveland Heights is going to increase their taxes, their city income tax to 2.5%. Why would someone want to move into a community or communities, because University Heights is already at 2.5%, with a school system that is less than adequate and it's failing? I have clients, based on my profession, who I have advised. We've looked at the various communities. They don't move into Cleveland Heights. They don't move into University Heights. They don't move into Shaker Heights because of the taxes and the quality of education. The fact that you think you're providing a quality education to the citizens of this community is a falsehood. I do agree that when you pass a levy, you have a problem because you can only get X dollars for the first year of the levy that you get the third year of the levy. But in Mr. Gaynor's discussion of proposals, I did not hear any reference to the proposed, or I think they are going to be the increases to the STRS and SERS contributions that the board is going to have to make. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving on to the superintendent's report.
Okay, we just have approval of 2 field trips. A lacrosse trip to
I'm gonna
California.
pull the mic up if you're.
Okay, we have approval of the following field trips: the Cleveland Heights High School Girls Lacrosse Field Trip to California, scheduled for April 2nd through the 8th, and the Cleveland Heights High School Softball Field Trip to Florida, scheduled for April 4th through the 10th of 2015.
And we can take those together, correct? Okay, can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any questions, comments, additions? Nope. Mr. Gaynor?
Ms. Peppler?
Yes.
Mr. Register?
Yes.
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Mr. Koble?
Yes.
And actually, I want to go back. We voted, I approved it, and just make the statement that for people in the audience who aren't used to hearing that language, these are field trips, but they're not paid for by the district. They're paid for by family members and fundraising by the teams.
Correct.
Just to keep that clear for folks who don't usually come to our meetings.
Correct.
All right.
And then a third reading and recommendation to approve the Neola policy update. I don't know, Dr. Wiley? It's not here.
All right. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
And while Dr. Wiley is not here at this time, I don't think there were that many questions at the last meeting. Does anybody have any questions? I think we probably can, as long as there are no questions, we can vote on it
Right.
without her here.
I was happy to find out what Neola
What it used to mean. Yeah.
She did send that out, yes.
I'll do some leadership
Okay.
associates or something. Yeah.
Nothing else? Okay, Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Register?
Yes.
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Mr. Koble?
Yes.
Ms. Peppler?
Yes. Okay, and we are moving on to personnel. I believe I can take items E 1 through 7 together. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Nothing? Okay. Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Mr. Koble?
Yes.
Ms. Peppler?
Yes.
Mr. Register?
Yes.
And I need a motion to approve item E8, the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Okay. Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Mr. Koble?
Yes.
Ms. Peppler?
Yes.
Mr. Register?
Yes.
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
And now on to business services. Mr. Shigalis, are you? So I'll first take the motion to approve the recommendation for the revised GMP for mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and elevator packages.
So moved.
Second.
So good evening, and I've asked Steve Zanoni and Pat O'Brien from Project Management Consultants, our owner's rep, to join me. And Steve has some very brief comments about this, and then we'll be happy to take any questions that you have.
Okay.
Steve.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank the board for this opportunity to stand in front of you. Just kind of give you, just before we go into this GMP, this is one of a number of GMPs that are part of the Wiley School project, its transformation into our temporary high school, and then also our usage as the middle school. And I'm pleased also to tell you that the work is going very well. We're on schedule, which is really critical, even with the weather that we've been dealing with in terms of that. We've have the dates set up for putting up the modulars, so we're right on track. We have this present GMP, which is for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, and I want to tell you that it does work within the framework of our overall budgets. But as we have encountered some unforeseen conditions, but these were budgeted as part of our contingency funds. So we're able to do this work within the framework of our total overall budget. What I'd like to do is mainly open it up to you for questions, and Pat and I are presenting, but we did do a negotiation with the construction manager on this. We went through very detailed in terms of looking at all of the costs that are involved in there, and feel that we recommend that you approve this GMP.
I'm not sure that it makes sense for us to just go in the question format, Steve, maybe for the purposes of the audience also, to do just a couple of examples of the types of conditions that you've encountered that made one part of the budget go over, but the overall budget and the contingencies, which is why they're built in.
That's why they're there.
Yeah, if you could
Yes.
give some examples of those.
I'm going to ask Pat, and we are prepared for that.
And then we can have questions.
Sure. Some examples of things that we had not anticipated encountering were we had some water seeping into our foundations into the tunnels beneath the building. We had some pipes that were down there that were further corroded than we thought they had been during the school's operation. We had a grease trap in the kitchen that we need to replace that we thought was in good shape. We have a greater load on the existing electrical panel than we thought when we added the gym and the music component, so we've had to upgrade. So those are some examples of some things that we did not anticipate when we started the project, even 6 months ago, that we had not anticipated at that particular location.
And can you also give an overview of the contingency and how those numbers were determined? I know that we agreed to a higher contingency because of some concerns around
Yes.
these unexpected
Yes,
issues.
when we normally budget these projects, we budget at a 10% contingency. But at the time we did the master plan and our initial budgets, we recommended going to 12%. And the reason we did was because of our concerns of we just couldn't get a true handle on what was going to happen at Wiley. And so what we did was we did a 12% contingency. That's a significant dollar amount. It's over almost $14 million on the total project.
Right.
Of the total project. And our usage of this contingency for this project still keeps us above even 10%, which would have been normal at the very beginning of the project. So we feel very comfortable by doing that, and that's why we recommended it, because when you're dealing with some older buildings, these are the things that happen. That's why they're at those higher rates. If we were doing all new construction, or if this temporary was new, we would have only had a 5% contingency. So you can see that was more than double what we started out with. And we made that recommendation because of our experience, and we really didn't want to come ever to say that, hey, we missed something. We just had to do that because these are things that just are unforeseen as we went through the process.
Am I understanding correctly that these are also, the particular things that have come up were, they were things we could not have found out about while the building was in use? Is that correct? I mean, they were things like
That's correct.
in the floor, under the ground.
Underground.
Tunnels that were not ever opened, things like that, that are now open. and
Now
we see
open,
this was
that you
bad- yeah,
open.
this was a bad situation.
And that's again why we did the larger contingencies, because we knew we were going to have to open up walls and things of that nature. Can't have X-ray vision to
Right.
see what was behind it, and that's why those dollars are allocated that way.
Do you have any sense of, is this, well, I know the answer to this, never mind. I think the same thing is going to happen at the high school, right? I mean, again, just because we
Yeah.
can't see through the walls.
Yeah,
Not
but
to the degree.
Not
because
to
we
the
know more
degree,
about the high schools
because
there, but
one of the things, oh, go ahead.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and we're taking a lot more of the high school down, and we're replacing so much more of the
Right.
systems, whereas Wiley, we're relying on much of the existing systems that are in place. So it is a little
Makes
bit different
sense.
situation. We probably could expect something to occur at the high school, don't know what, but I don't think to the kind of magnitude we're talking here.
Just a quick question. Can you explain 1111 and 1112? Those are construction stage personnel costs, which are now at zero, but they're not to exceed. If you see what I'm, it's the first item under 11.
Page 1 of 3.
All the way to the beginning.
Contract sum and related items for this amendment.
it's Exhibit D.
To the last page, I
back-
think,
it's
the
the-
page before the last one.
No, it's the,
Here, right here,
But I don't know
1.111.
what they got.
Construction
Could be
stage
the first
personnel.
page for them.
There's no additional cost from the CMR. We paid for the cost for their staff to manage this in a previous GMP run.
Okay, so it's already paid for?
Correct.
So we should think about that as part of the cost of doing this too?
Correct. And that's the tricky part, is if we had asked the CMR to say, distribute your total cost for your personnel across the site and the general trades, you get a more complex calculation. We said, look, we know what that number is going to be. Let's put it in the first one. And so that's why you see a zero here, but we have paid for staff to manage this.
And that amount is listed there? That's the correct amount?
$244,028, correct?
Yes.
Right.
That's correct.
And the same thing would be true of the general conditions, which is part of the conversation that we had previously, right?
Correct.
So that's been paid for?
Correct.
Okay.
is this our last package on Wiley, or?
No, we have to buy landscaping, and we have to buy security and technology pieces and parts. We're moving some cameras and pieces of servers and equipment over to this building
When do we anticipate the?
at your next board meeting.
Okay.
Landscaping, maybe yes, maybe no.
Okay.
Not in a hurry to buy landscaping.
Snow shovels, maybe.
Yeah.
But they're evergreens, that's,
When we come back with the, I guess the last part, which we're gonna see next board meeting,
Correct.
that's the one in February 17th, or we're talking about next month?
February, early in February.
March.
I'm sorry, March.
So it'd be March 3rd.
It'd be March, yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I think it's your March 3rd.
Okay, could we see the total, if you will,
Certainly.
for Wiley, compared to what we thought and where we're gonna end up?
Any other questions? Nope.
I'll just kind of add that the team has been working diligently. We got to have meetings and making sure we stay on target, on scheduled, as they stated, and it's been working out well.
Are we doing a construction cam, even though it's just a trailer, or, I'm sorry, the modulars, and it's really not that interesting, are we doing anything like that for anybody who would be interested in that? I'm not actually interested in this architecturally, but if any, the general public would.
We've gotten a couple proposals and a little bit surprised by what the cost was. So there are different levels of how you track it and if you want to have it live streamed or not live streamed. So we've gone back to the construction manager and say, we would like to be able to do this so we can document it, but as cost effectively as possible.
Well, I would assume, are they taking photographs during the construction?
Oh, no,
Well,
they take a lot
because-
of, every day they're taking photos.
'cause
We have,
Angie doesn't have enough to do, so I mean,
No, we have-
I just, at the very least, I think if we could throw up a few images periodically, something so we're showing progress
yes.
that, you know, that would be good at least. If we're not gonna do a cam showing what's going on, just throwing some photos out there showing the progress, I
Well,
think
and
would be beneficial.
it will get kind of exciting, I think,
Right,
because shortly we're going to actually start seeing them
Right.
crane in the modulars, and you're going to start seeing things actually happening back there. I mean, so, yeah, we definitely need to get some pictures up.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Okay, Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Coble?
Yes.
Ms. Peppler?
Yes.
Mr. Register?
Yes.
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Okay, so item F2 is, I need a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the Ohio Schools Council cooperative advertising and receiving bids for school bus chassis and bodies.
So moved.
Second.
So this is part of our annual bus purchasing program, and this is the resolution where you authorize us to go seek bids. And we do that through the Ohio Schools Council, which is a partner with us, and they have a cooperative purchasing program. And we've saved tens of thousands of dollars on our bus purchases over the years by participating in this program. So, it's a good thing. We do it every year.
How many are we looking to?
Three.
Three this year?
Yeah, that's pretty much keeping us on pace for our bus replacement schedule.
And what's our normal lifespan of a bus for us?
A little over 10,
Okay.
yeah.
Mr. Gaynor?
Ms. Peppler?
Yes.
Mr. Register?
Yes.
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Mr. Coble?
Yes.
Item F3, recommendation to accept a $100 donation to Boulevard Elementary School.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Register?
Yes.
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Mr. Coble?
Yes, and thank
Ms.
you.
Peppler?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. And moving on to finance. I need a motion to approve the financial reports.
So moved.
Item G1.
Second.
Mr. Gaynor, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, this is our monthly financial report, so unless there are any specific questions, it's cash position for the month of December 2014.
Any questions, comments? Okay, Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Mr. Coble?
Yes.
Ms. Peppler?
Yes.
Mr. Register?
Yes.
Before we leave finance,
Yeah.
I'll just mention that I know Mr. Register got a call yesterday, as did I from the Board of Elections. So I did go down first thing this morning, and all the paperwork is filed and with the Board of Elections, and so we are good to go. But they were calling, questioning, because they knew we were considering it, and the deadline was later this week, so they wanted to make sure that we were doing what we needed to do. So it's done, and we're on, and I just wanted to report that.
Thank you.
On we go.
Go.
All right, well, for the board president's report tonight, I guess I'm going to do a couple of things a little different than I would typically do. And first of all, and I think they're connected, honestly. First of all, I want to say, and I'm sorry Mr. Klein left, that I was indeed at that special meeting of the Heights Coalition for Public Education. And the word that I kept using in talking to the folks at my table and in talking about it afterwards was it was heartbreaking. It was really difficult to hear teachers talk about what the proliferation of testing has done to their ability to teach and to students' ability to learn. So Dr. Dixon and I spoke shortly afterwards, and I know that you and your team have talked about it before and since, but that the district is developing some plans on how to address some of the issues that we can address within the district. Some of the mandates we can't do anything about other than advocate, and we have been encouraged to advocate more widely and clearly, and that's a conversation that we need to have. But I think it's a really important conversation for this community to have, and I encourage people to continue to talk to us about how it's impacting the lives of your children and your lives as teachers and educators. But the other topic that I wanted to address is directly Mr. Drake's comments. And we don't typically talk back at these meetings, but I just need to say that, that these schools are not failing, that we are absolutely educating kids, that we are absolutely doing a fabulous job with lots of kids, that there's an incredibly high correlation between poverty and turnover in school districts and test scores. And I can share that information with you if you'd like. I'm being very sincere in saying that. And that those two things are impacting our, the one measure that people look to, and that people who don't want to take time to visit, learn, and really experience what my kids are experiencing at Heights High. They look to that one score on the ODE website, and that's where their judgment is made. And it saddens me. I think that there are absolutely things that we can do better, must do better, will do better, but we are not failing. And the fact that we do have to go back to the voters to get those for the levy is a difficult decision for us to make. And we have to do that, or we would have to cut a significant amount out of the budget every few years. And we make tough decisions. We decide how much we're going to ask the voters to approve, and then it's up to the voters. So I couldn't let that comment sit. I know that you will still disagree with me, and that's fine. But we're not failing. We're doing a great job, and we can do better. So that's my report. Do we have any unfinished business?
No, just a comment about the session that we attended last week. We had a colleague from Shaker, Board of Education, who actually has planned a session to talk about the testing issue with some people from OSBA, Damon Asbury, and that's happening February 18th. I don't know if people received that. We all should have gotten a copy of that email, and I would encourage us to maybe even.
We did get that. That's been a while.
It's
I'm glad you reminded me.
February 18th is the date.
Yeah.
And I think that it wouldn't hurt us to at least let it be known on the on our website.
It's a good idea.
So I think, did you get that email?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to add that to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any new business? Board committee reports.
Am I the only one who has any? I mean, the calendar committee is once every 2 years.
Now,
We have been
say
working
that.
very
Say that
diligently,
every
sir.
time, Mr.
Excuse me,
Silverman.
Mr.
Now,
Silverman.
You can do your
Oh, wait till
reports
you hear
without
my
throwing
report.
your colleagues under the bus.
I was just.
That's right.
I'm not yet used to it. It's, it's, the alumni heightsgear.com has an open house sale on February 28th, 9:30 to noon.
Now,
Facilities.
which committee is that?
That is from the Alumni Foundation.
Just kidding.
It's for the people at home. Yeah, no more discounts for you. The Facilities Accountability Committee continues to meet. They had another meeting. One of the subcommittees in regards to archives and archival did another sweep of the building this past weekend. So the contractors are saying, hey, trying to find out what elements do we want to, when we're looking at preservation, what stuff that the contractors have to remove versus our own staff. So this was an idea to really delineate out what can be salvaged by internal versus external. So hopefully that'll be going to, through the chain of command for FAC. They're going to have another meeting as well, but they're continuing to meet and doing their due diligence as far as oversight. I think for a lot of their committees, it's sort of, to a degree, waiting to see some more of the big things. Once we have more action by the board in regards to design development and budget, we'll see some more, the FAC having to say, hey, give me more of a heads up or a status report. And those are my two committees now, and I'll hand it over to Mr. Colby.
Do you have a committee?
I have a committee.
Why don't you do your committee?
I'll do my committee. PTA, I was at the last PTA meeting. PTA has been working with Chartwell's, our food service, to work on healthier selections in our schools. They had created an egg experiment of putting an egg on the menu. Yeah, you just put an egg on the menu. No, adding healthier foods to the menu and in supplanting something less healthy in the breakfast menu. And it seems to be going well. And there's been a commitment by Chartwell's, by Mr. Strauss, who's in charge of food services, to work with PTA, looking at the PTA co-presidents out there. So I think I speak for the whole PTA, and I think they're very pleased with the path this is taking. You agree? Yeah. Okay. So they'll be working together. They also had a table talk regarding testing, and Dr. Dixon and Dr. Selico and Ms. Bird were all there at the meeting to present a chart of all the different tests that we take within the district, and they got very healthy feedback from PTA regarding how to potentially proceed and how we can make this a better situation. So that partners with the meeting you discussed earlier. So it seems to be a district-wide both concern and initiative that everyone wants to work on together. So.
Thank you to the PTA for leading those charges in both our food and our mind works. Thank you. Which actually feeds into the newest committee, which I am sitting on, which is the Strategic Planning Committee. It was decided by the board that we needed to be very clear in coming up with, as we are moving forward with plans for the buildings and all of the teacher development we continue to do, that we needed an overall strategic plan for the district as well, a 5-year plan with very measurable benchmarks that we could hold ourselves to as a district to find out what are our exact goals. And we all say we want to educate kids, and we do, but what are the exact goals within that, and how are we going to be able to achieve that? So that work began a very short time ago, and is moving with great speed, which is fantastic. The overall Strategic Planning Committee has met, which has members of all different walks of life in the community. About 20 people are on that committee. And then they were charged with determining who would make up focus groups that we would then work with to ask very specific questions, gather input from. The focus groups are made up of parents, obviously, teachers, administrators, parents who live in the district who do not send their children to our schools, community partners, and then just the general community at large. And we have, I believe it was 7, or 8 groups, focus groups now, that have been put together, again, very quickly. The community has risen to this and said yes very readily. We determined the questions. There were very thorough questions that were designed for these groups, and the first of the focus groups have now met, and those seem to be going very well from what I've heard. I've not been able to attend one of the focus groups, but all of that data will be collected, given back to the Strategic Planning Committee. In terms of what suggestions come forward. A plan will be developed over the next few months, and by the end of the spring, that will be presented to the board, and we will then decide if we want to accept that or not. But so far, with the administration's help, with Dr. Dixon and Angie Shaker, have really helped us move forward quickly on this. And again, the community has really risen to the challenge of stepping forward to give us, and people who have not, I'm proud to say, are happy to say, that a lot of the people in these focus groups are not voices that we tend to get. As we all know, there are about 100 people who come to every event and who really pay attention and who are always there, and the PTA are among those 100. And we really wanted to reach out to make sure that we were hearing voices that we do not always hear, but who are watching and who are paying attention and who want to make this community thriving. So those are the people in the focus groups, and then the larger community as a whole will also be able to take part in this conversation. That'll be probably in March. An announcement will go out about that for anyone who was not part of a focus group to be able to come and give us input. There's also online polls, surveys that are being done of all students, all teachers. So we're really collecting as much data as possible, and we'll be getting that to the board soon.
Thanks. Okay. Any correspondence and announcements?
Oh,
Nope.
Right. Cal. We did have Cal brought up the Reaching Musical Heights, the date for that. Is that, it's February
24th.
24th?
February 24th, right.
Severance Hall.
at 7:30, I believe.
That's right, and I should have brought it with me, I apologize.
Yeah.
Do you want to make an announcement about it?
Go ahead.
What is it?
Go
Are we-
ahead.
on Reaching Heights. Do you
Go
want to make
ahead.
an announcement? Reaching Musical Heights. We're back at Severance Hall. Every few years, we get the opportunity. Reaching Heights, one of our community support organizations, hosts a very large benefit every few years called Reaching Musical Heights, which takes place at Severance Hall, featuring hundreds of our students, vocal, music students, instrumental students, performing on the Severance Hall stage, and that'll be on the 24th. At 7, what did you say, 7:30?
7:30 is my understanding.
7:30. Tickets are now on sale. Are they via our website? Or is it Reaching Heights?
There's a Reaching Heights.
Heights has them, yeah.
Has the
Right,
tickets,
and-
yeah.
And our students, and then we have one alum, Jeffrey Golden, will be performing, who won Sunday Best on BET
Right,
this
right.
year, so he'll be performing also, which will be a lot of fun.
It's an amazing event. Anyone who's ever gone to it always just walks away stunned by not only the level of talent of our students, but the commitment of the community. So it's really, if you can be there, please be there.
Any other correspondence and announcements? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Coble?
Yes.
Ms. Peppler?
Yes.
Mr. Register?
Yes.
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?